SRM Gaming. Oh, we're live. Hello. Welcome to our amazing podcast. I think it's the fourth. Um, I am Trick Solutions, and with me is my favorite guest on this thing.
And that would be I, Darth Malid, once again, here to entertain the airwaves with my awesome voice.
So last week we were doing a list of our favorite games, and didn't really go the way we planned. Well, it went perfectly the way we planned. It's just we didn't go through the entire list, so we're gonna continue that this stream. But before we do that, I guess I should say something about our amazing new logo that we got, and it really is awesome. We finally actually have something that isn't just our letters. I thought Darth would add to that, but I guess not.
Oh, yeah, I was just wondering if you had like some kind of promo you were gonna say, or
Nah,
if there was any shout outs you wanted to make. Yeah, that's okay. I love the logo. The logo is fantastic. You know, I I expected, when we were first talking about it, they told me exactly, what the logo was gonna be, what detail it was gonna have. Like it was gonna have the lion. We just didn't know how it was gonna look.
right.
And then, I was thinking about the style of the lettering. Was it gonna just be simple, or was it gonna be, some kind of eclectic style or graffiti style? Like what were they gonna do? And when I finally saw the logo, I was really impressed. I was like, wow, the color combination, the shading, the detail in the lion's face, the fact that it's, in the midst of roaring. It, I love it. That doesn't speak strength and pride. I don't know what else does.
Yeah, it looks. Everybody knows that I don't like that certain design style very much, but I like ours. Ours looks a lot better than most that I see with that certain style. Maybe
Yeah,
slightly biased, but you know.
like I said, when I seen it, I was like, wow, I was taken back by it. A lot of people may see it and be like, oh, it's just a logo. So what? Oh wow, But when it's your company and it's your logo, and you look at all the other logos that are there, it's gonna stand out and it's gonna be on the top. That's a logo that you're gonna see. It's not gonna be something that's just, oh, it's just a logo. No, it stands out. And I
Right.
can't wait till we get jerseys and I'm excited. I'm really excited. Just it's a step forward. Got a lot to work on, but it's really exciting to me. I like the logo a lot.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely feel the same way. And just so everybody knows, the Spider-Man gameplay that you're seeing on the screen is being played by me. Excuse me. So I hope y'all enjoy that. And we should probably get into our official business.
So we
So
left off and we spoke about number 3, right? I think we're on number 4.
uh see, I don't remember because I remember I wanted to talk about one of my games since we were running late, so I pushed one to the top.
Oh, okay. All right.
Did I talk
Some
about Witcher 3?
Yes, we did.
All right,
Very
so I'm on the next one then.
okay. So I believe the last game that I spoke of was Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
I do remember you saying stuff about that.
So my next game on the list is, to me, I would say iconic. Very much a leader in its class of game, and that's Gran Turismo. It's a racing game, but
I've
to
never
me,
played
it's
Gran Turismo.
oh my! No wonder you were silent when I said that. I kind of had to like. I was like chirp, 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 chirp. Man, you've never played Gran Turismo.
Nope.
Did you play any racing games?
No, I don't like racing games.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to like once again inform my fellow org member of a game he has yet to play. But Gran Turismo was the very beginning of racing simulation. Like you had to go through tests in order to earn your license before you can actually race in a race. And you had to do the tests that were for real life Gran Turismo racers. So it was a real racing simulation in your home now. And once you did get one license, you had to progress to the next and the next until you became a professional, do amateur racing and everything. And we're not talking like 5 lap races. I mean, that's how you start, but then it progresses 10, 15, 25. You become a pro, it's 100, 150, and there literally is a 500 lap race. And I'm not talking about, oh, yeah, you can do 500 laps. You know, we're talking about 4, 6, 8 hour races, just like you're doing the Daytona 500, just driving in a circle.
I couldn't do that. I do not have the attention span.
I used to play with my cousins so that we would take turns and switch at like every 25 laps.
Oh, yeah, that seems like the only way you could play it without going crazy.
That game was because you can customize every car. Yeah, I mean, from the engine to the intake pipes to your headers, the piston rings that you're using, everything. You customized every single car. And if you damaged it in a race, you have to pay to fix it. Just like real life, you have to fix your car. You have to fix your car. So learning how to actually race was important because you didn't want to spend all your money fixing your car because then you won't be able to qualify or have the money you needed to enter into the next race.
Interesting. That sounds like a what console was that for?
It first came out on the original PlayStation with Gran Turismo 1. Then Gran Turismo 2 came out on the PS2, and so did 3. I believe 4 and 5 are out on the PS3.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I've played a lot of racing games. I've played Ridge Racer, Need for Speed, Midnight Club. There's so many out there. Forza, like I think right now, I put GT in my top 10 because of the franchise and how long it's ran and the progression of what it has done for racing games. But right now, I believe to say that Forza has picked up that mantle and Xbox has just ran because that Forza 4 is unbelievable. It's an open world game. Like you're not limited to a city or a town. Like you can actually drive out of that town to another town, and while you're driving, you're running into other people who are playing the game online, and you can actually do wage matches against other people online. It's insane.
Yeah, that's didn't they have like only one other racing game that was as big as it? Wasn't it like the Club or something?
Midnight Club. I mean, but then, like I said, they also had Need for Speed and Ridge Racer. Ridge Racers like was one of the first ever racing games that was outside of the track on PlayStation that took place on the streets and highways. And then Need for Speed came out and did the same thing, and they were running competitive for a while until the very first Gran Turismo came out. Like when the very first Gran Turismo came out, everybody kind of stopped playing Need for Speed and Ridge Racer and started playing Gran Turismo. And then Ridge Racer 5 came out, and that was like the equivalent to when Call of Duty changed to Black Ops and they went with Black Ops 3 and how the game was much faster. That's
Right.
what Ridge Racer 5 was. The cars were in more detail because it was on the PS3. The game was more sleek, the cars looked better, the game was faster, and then Gran Turismo 3 dropped, and there was a whole different ball game. The customizations to the cars, the paint jobs, the detail on the paint jobs, how realistic the cars looked, everything was unbelievable.
Yeah, I've never played a racing game ever, like any.
I've been playing racing games since the original Nintendo. My very first racing game was called RC Pro Am.
uh, well, okay, I can't say I haven't played any racing games. I play Mario Kart.
Yo, Mario Kart's the business. That
Yeah,
is the party racing game you can ever play. Like, it don't matter who's in your house. It can be a millionaire and a bum sitting next to you, and you pop in Mario Party, they're gonna sit down and play with you because Mario Party does that. Mario Kart does that. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are games that when you play them, they just bring people together. Mario Kart to me is like the greatest cartoonish racing game you can ever play,
I
ever.
agree.
Like, I've played a lot of, like I said, I played a lot of racing games. You know what I mean? But to play that game and to be able to like just, oh, you ahead? Oh no, don't think so. Red turtle shell, pew! Come on, like that's something you wish you could do in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those games are awesome. I just hate when you're playing on the Wii and you're in first place and people start getting the blue shells with the wings. It's over. Like, when you're ahead of the pack and you're in first place, everybody gets everything needed, like, to take you out.
Yeah, Mario Kart and Mario Party is how you lose friends.
But
It's
it's
like
how you make
Monopoly.
friends. Oh my gosh, yo, Monopoly will tear families apart. I've seen some arguments over a Monopoly game. Like, really? This is a board.
It's rough. I remember I was I was playing Monopoly pretty recently with a group of friends because we were super bored, and I don't think I've talked to those friends lately.
Wow, happens. Video games can do that.
Yeah,
You know, that's why, like, sometimes I like playing solo games. Like the next game on my list, like that segue, right? But
yeah.
my next game, like, is not only one of my greatest franchise games, period, is one of my greatest movie franchises as well. Resident Evil.
Uh, which one, or could you not choose?
Oh man, you put me on the spot.
Don't worry, I have in my list. I have a thing of games that I couldn't choose between.
No, but like, if I had to choose one specific Resident Evil game that was best amongst them all, I would have to go with Resident Evil 2.
That's what
Um,
most people say, as far as I know.
the reasoning behind this because it was the first game that you played not just two complete different characters. Because I mean, you did that in the first one. You played Chris and you played Jill. You know what I mean? But in this one, what you did with Leon, would have implications when you played with Claire. So, like, if I went into the locker room and I took the submachine gun, when I go to play with Claire, that submachine gun ain't gonna be there, and she may need that
Uh,
submachine gun. You know what I mean? So when you're playing the game the first time around, you're like, "Ooh, I just want to beat it," not knowing what's going on. And then when you play it the second time with Claire, it's like, "Oh man, I should not have done that. I should not have taken this. I shouldn't have put this there." And so that was a game that was more exciting, in opposed to when you played the first Resident Evil. When you played it the first time with Jill, it was the same exact way if you played it with Chris, except that there were certain parts of the mansion he was accessing at a different time because the stories were going on together at the same time.
right.
But what I took from the game with Chris had no effect on Jill. So you could play the game not worrying about anything. Resident Evil 2 was just that was the first time you had to actually use decision making. Like, do I need to open this door? Do I need to use the small key? Do I need to take these ribbons? Should I leave that ammo there when I'm playing with Claire because she may need it? So it was one of those games that made you think, and then the puzzles were more intricate than they were in the first one. And so as the series continued, it was like Resident Evil 2 was the basis to every other game. Like that was the map now. It wasn't part one. Part two now became the map for any future Resident Evil. So to me, that's the best one in the genre, and so I don't know. I'm addicted to the whole series, but if you made me choose, that's my choice.
Well, like always with our lists, they're extremely different because the game I chose in the same slot that was Gran Turismo for you is Doom, the 2016 version, and
Ooh,
it's another game where there's not much story. I mean, there's a pretty good story if you like look hard enough,
Doom
but
never had a story.
it has a story now.
I mean, it does now, but when it first originated, you were just playing some guy who was shooting some aliens, and you kind of had to get out. It was survival.
Yeah, but that's
Love
what I
Doom.
like about it. I like just, you don't have to care about a story. You don't got to pay attention to anything. You just go around and shoot things.
Yes, Doom in the genre of first-person shooters to me is one of the best. It's a pioneer in first-person shooters. They had their games where they were like, "Oh, this game is kind of whack," um, but I agree with your Doom. It's a really good game. I like it.
Yeah. And then after that, I don't know. This might be a game that you don't know about. It's called Prototype for the PS3.
I don't. I
Ooh,
might have, but I'm not 100% sure to be honest with you. I'm
ooh,
trying to like
finally.
go through my Rolodex and think about what the cover used to look like, and I
Well,
can't. I can't remember.
so I couldn't choose between one or two because they're so good, but it's kind of a zombie game, but at the same time, it's one of those zombie games where they're not really zombies; they're like monsters, and you get infected, but something in your DNA makes you not completely turn, but you get powers, so you can fly, you can transform your fists and arms into weapons, and it's another great game that has a decent story, but really all you do is just kill stuff because during the game, the further you get in, the more infected people there are, and you can have a shield on your arm, and so when you use your super speed sprint, you hold up the shield, and you can just go through the city mowing down tons and tons of people, and it's just fun.
Oh, I love zombie games. I don't. I mean, I don't. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever played it. To be honest with you,
It's
I
they were both for PS3, but you can get them both for PS4, the remastered editions, and I think they're wonderful games. Because the story, I mean, it's definitely not bad, but it's kind of the one of the same stories as every zombie game.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm really gonna have to check it out.
Yep.
I like games where you can just like mow people down, where it's just like just shoot them and have fun.
Yeah.
It kind of de-stresses me from playing games like Call of Duty and Overwatch,
Right.
where it's
Yeah,
always competitive.
this game's certainly a de-stressor because you'll start fighting a giant monster, and it's got like armies of things coming at you, and you have claws coming from your arms or a giant sword. It's just fun. Oh my god! Now I want to play Prototype.
Yeah, like going through my list and still looking at what I gotta go through. I'm like, man, I need to go buy me some old school systems.
Pretty much every game that I picked, you can play at least one part of it on PS4. What what's your next game?
The next game on my list will be. It's kind of like it's an old school adventure game. It's Turtles in Time. Have you ever heard of it?
Uh,
It's
how
actually
old
a
is it?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It's pretty old. It's pretty old.
Was it for PC?
No, arcade, Super Nintendo, Sega
Oh,
Genesis. Yeah, so it's pretty old.
yeah, I've never heard of that. The only old Ninja Turtles game I know of, I don't even remember the name for it, but it was for PC, and I was like 4, and I didn't know that WASD is how you move things on a computer, so I never played it. Couldn't figure out
Yeah,
how.
it was a 4 player game. Um, like back in those days, we only had 2 ports, so you had to buy like what was called a multi-tap, so you can play with multiple people. Um, so it was a 4 player game, and you would pick, Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael, and it was the first game where it was kind of like interactive. It wasn't just a 2D; it was a kind of a 3D game. You can take the foot soldiers and like smash them into the wall or barrels and stuff like that, and actually throw them at the screen.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And yeah, so like you will see their faces as they're flying through the TV screen, and there's um, a time where you fight Krang as the boss, and you have to throw the foot soldiers at the screen because you're seeing from his point of view, and he's like trying to shoot you and whatnot. And you
Hmm.
have to throw the foot soldiers to defeat him, and it's pretty cool for a game in its age. It was very arcadish, like all Ninja Turtle games are. I don't know any that's haven't been. Um, and it's one that actually like it's one of the games that stood the test of time. It's if you look, it's one of the top 100 video games like has ever been played in video game history. So to me, it's very iconic. I remember one day I cut school to go play this game on arcade with my friend. I was in 6th grade, and no, cutting school is not a good thing. Stay in school, do your homework, listen to your teacher.
Yeah, you don't want to.
So me and my friend cut school to go play this game, and we spent like $5 in quarters to literally beat this game.
Oh God.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, I never really got into arcade games really. Mostly because they didn't really have an arcade where I grew up. We kind of just had Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm
That's
in New
about it.
York City. Every corner store, bodega has video games, arcade games. It was like, and then we had this place called Playland, and it was literally a square mile place of nothing but arcade games.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
And it was in Manhattan, the 42nd Street Times Square. And we used to go over there as kids all the time and play video games. And they had every arcade game you could imagine: pinball, fighting, racing, everything just in one place.
Yeah, the closest I ever got to something like that was Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, we
They don't.
have those over here.
Colton
They're
says
okay.
there's a Playland in Vancouver, but it's not just an
So,
arcade.
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, my next game is it's kind of an arcadey game if you look at it in the right light and you're blind. But it's Borderlands. I couldn't pick one, so I just picked the whole series.
Did you just say Borderlands?
Yeah.
Dude, I love Borderlands.
Borderlands is absolutely one of the best games ever. All of them are.
It is one of my top 5 greatest first person shooter games of all time.
Yep, and they're coming out with the fourth one soon. Well, okay, not soon, but they are coming out with the fourth one.
Listen, the only reason that game is at number 3 is because Call of Duty comes second and GoldenEye for 64 comes number 1. That's it. Like, you can't beat those two. You're never going to beat GoldenEye. I don't care what you do with your first person shooter game. And I don't care. Like, you can quote me on this. No one will ever beat GoldenEye for the greatest first person shooter of all time.
I don't know. The fourth Borderlands might.
I don't know. I don't know what any. I don't know. They're gonna have to do something like extremely drastic because that game was the greatest ever when it comes to first person shooters. But Borderlands, I love it. I love it. It's the first ever first person shooter RPG game.
Is
You
it?
know? Yes. Okay, so when you shoot everybody, it's not like when you're playing Battlefield, Call of Duty, Halo. There's no energy bar
Right.
in those games. In this game, you have a bar, and it tells you how much life you're taking away per hit. Just like if you were playing Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, or any other RPG game.
Right.
Going back to the original Nintendo games. Um, so it's based on that metric, on that system of an RPG. Plus the quests that you have, the XP that you got to get to advance. It's not about guns. It's creating your character, building your path of what you want your character to do. You got the option of your special ability and which abilities you want to enhance, which abilities you don't want to enhance. Because, I mean, that's what RPGs are. When you're playing Final Fantasy, you are choosing your weapons, enhancing certain weapons, and enhancing your abilities more than your weapons. You're just getting stronger weapons as you go along.
Right.
But in the game, you're actually based on enhancing your abilities. And that's what you're doing in Borderlands. Yeah, it's a first person shooter game, but the game's more based on you enhancing who you are, getting stronger to complete the mission that you have to complete. I've been playing Borderlands since the very first game. I waited online for the first game, pre-ordered the second game, bought Tales of the Borderlands, even though people told me it was whack. Didn't care. Played it, loved it.
Yeah, I like Tales of the Borderlands.
Borderlands is awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I remember one day, back in 7th grade in middle school, my friend was just like, "You should buy Borderlands. It's pretty fun." And I was like, "All right, what is it?" And he was like, "I can't explain it to you. You're just gonna have to buy it. That's the only way."
Oh, that's exactly what I told my friend too. Told him the same thing. He was like, "What game is this?" And we're at work, and I'm like, "Nope, nope. We're just gonna go home and play it." Just...
And Dynamic, we're talking about our top 10 games, but at the same time, we're not going to be talking about our top 10 games the entire time. We will end up talking about something completely different and has nothing to do with the game that we were talking about.
But then we'll circle back, got to keep on track and make sure we keep going.
Maybe, unless it's like last time and we just keep talking about movies.
Yeah, we went so off track.
It was great, though.
But Borderlands, I mean, so far in the entire series, who is your favorite character?
Ooh, that's a hard. I gotta pause my game to think about that.
He said I have to pause my game on that.
Well, I'm gonna give you two, because of course there's a favorite of the series that should be everyone's answer to this question, and that's Claptrap. But I hate him when you can play as him.
I can't stand Claptrap as a playable character. Gosh. Okay, as a PNC, as a non-playable character NPC, he's I love him, because the game ain't nothing without him. Without Claptrap, there is no game.
Right.
Because he's comical, but as a playable character,
he's trash.
But it fits his personality, but it sucks. It's so bad.
Yeah, literally the only reason that I haven't platinumed Borderlands pre-sequel is because I can't do it, because Claptrap's trophy requires you to use every single one of his random forms, and to do that, one, you have to be in a group with other people, which I don't like doing, and two, because I was farming it once, and I literally just sat in the middle of a thing, kept using it. I got the same 3. Then I went in fights, because I know different circumstances trigger different ones, and it was still the exact same 3 over and over again. And that's
I can't do it. Not with Claptrap. Like there's games where you play and you're like, oh, this game is fun, it's great, it's awesome, and then there's that one character like, no, I'm never gonna play. That's my Claptrap.
Yeah.
If I was gonna play Borderlands and just to mess around and have fun and not care if I'm gonna die a million times, then yeah, I'll play with Claptrap. Why not?
But if you actually want to do something, you can't play as Claptrap.
Because he's gonna make you laugh. I mean, his voice lines are ridiculously hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't play with Claptrap. Who's the second person?
Alright, so my favorite playable character. Alright, I wasn't thinking about this. Who was in the third game? It was Athena.
Mm-hmm.
Athena. Oh, I think my favorite playable character is Wilhelm.
Yeah.
His drones are so awesome.
Yeah, they are.
They make you a god, quite literally.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you my favorite character, but I got one more question for you. Do you think Borderlands 3 was a little bit too easy?
The pre-sequel?
Because of the abilities that everybody had. Like, that's the one where you can play as Jack, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's DLC.
Right? So when you get and you play with Jack and you use his special where he can create multiple Jacks, and then you have the droids on the field, like, it becomes an unfair game. Literally, you're playing and it's like 6 against them, and there only be like 4, and then the boss. You know what I mean? Right. So like, I felt like sometimes it was a little just too easy when you played with certain characters' combined special abilities.
I do agree with that, but that's any Borderlands game really, because like, for example, Borderlands 2, if you had Maya and then Krieg, they were dead. You would get the skill for Maya that drew everybody towards her phase lock ability, and then you just went psycho with Krieg, they're all dead. And then they had the Necromancer Gage on Borderlands 2, who alone made the game super easy, because you'd put out the murder bot, and they all died, or you were invincible if you built the healing path.
Yeah, my favorite character was the ninja.
Which one?
From part 1.
Mordecai?
Yeah. No, not Mordecai. That's the dude with the revolver. The ninja. Is that part 1 or part 2? I think it's part 2.
Zero?
Yeah, Zero. That's my favorite character.
Zero is pretty fun. I love how he talks in only haikus.
Yes. Yes, that's awesome. But like, I don't know what it is about me and swords, but I like characters with swords. I
agree.
The only game that I don't play with a character who has a sword is Overwatch. And that's because a sword I don't even know how people play with him. And you're getting freaking shot with bullets and rockets and lasers, and like, I can't, no. I
like Genji.
Do it. You see, I can't do it. I've tried. I can play McCree. I can play a lot of characters. When it comes to like everybody with submachine guns, I'm good with. So Diva, Soldier, Carissa, that's easy. Like, but then there's like characters like uh Roadhog. No, I can't. I can't do it, no matter how much I try. But I can play with Reaper, and they both have shotguns. You know?
Yeah. My see, I'm different on Overwatch. My main is Genji. I love Genji, and it's just because he's a ninja.
You play on PC or PS4?
PS4.
Dude, we need to smash on some Overwatch.
I'm trash at Overwatch.
Yo, listen, I'll carry you. Don't worry about that.
God damn it.
Yo, trust me, I'll carry you. Like, my girl will tell you, I'll carry you. I got this. My girl
Does
can
your girl
carry
play
you
too?
Yeah.
We should all play together. Get a nice threesome going on.
On Overwatch, that sounds like fun.
It would be pretty fun. We need to play zombies at some point, though.
Yes, we can do that tonight.
I don't know about tonight.
Dude, don't be scared. Just because the sun is down doesn't mean you can't play the game.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I just don't know if I want to play Black Ops tonight. I haven't played any since I was number 1.
See? Look.
I've absolutely lost number 1. I think last time I checked.
Months behind now. You're months behind. That's what happens.
I'm not months behind. I'm like a week behind.
In the Call of Duty world, not playing for like 4 days and like not playing for like weeks.
Yeah. I'll be able to get number 1 pretty easily again. All I need to do is play for about a day. I can average about 1,000 kills a match solo. If I have a good group, I could easily get 3,000.
I've only played zombies once, and that's because I'm just focused on competitive style gaming right now. You know, but I'll play some zombies whenever you want to play.
Dope.
Got you.
I think tonight might be a attempt to 100% Spider-Man.
Again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't fully 100%.
Like in one shot, just like in 30 straight hours type thing?
What? What'd you say?
Like in one shot from beginning to end?
Oh, no. Like I'm just cleaning up what I have to do for this playthrough. I just 100%ed the DLC.
I just had an idea that we would have to talk about at the end of the podcast.
Oh, is it not something we can talk about right now?
It's kind of a business related thing.
Oh, is it something about me playing Spider-Man?
Maybe.
Is it about me turning into Spider-Man?
It might happen while you're playing the game because you've been playing it for so long.
It's like Assassin's Creed. I play Spider-Man enough, I start to learn.
Please do not try to jump out the window and swing while you're streaming. We don't want to see that.
That's how you get views, though.
But they may be the only views you get.
No,
there may not be many more after that. We don't want that happening. Not at all.
People would watch that VOD for 14 days because that's as long as it stays. All right, what's the next game on your list?
The next game on my list will be of the survival horror variety, and also has a little movie franchise, and it's called Silent Hill.
Ooh, no thanks.
What?
I don't play scary games.
Listen, man, Colton, Squish, we're gonna have to tie this guy down, and we're just gonna play like all scary games and watch scary movies, and he can cry in the background. I don't care, you know. He's gonna watch them all. You haven't watched the original Batman, never played Gran Turismo. I mean, I'm flabbergasted right now.
Oh god. Yeah, I don't like scary games. I mean, most of them don't even scare me that much. I just don't like being creeped out.
Dude, listen. Silent Hill, like when I played Resident Evil, and I told you how Resident Evil survival horror started the whole thing. It's one of the greatest survival horror games of all time. Silent Hill took survival horror to the next level. Like, you be playing the game, and in the middle of a game is this weird horn sound, and you're in like this town. The town is foggy. Have you ever seen the movie Silent Hill?
No,
Oh my god!
I don't watch scary movies. Scary movies actually scare me, unlike scary games.
I'm speechless.
I went
Okay,
to a haunted house the
so
other day. That makes up for it.
I'm gonna describe the town of Silent Hill. It's literally a ghost town. No one lives there. You would run into like two or three random people who like reside in random places in the outskirts of this so-called town, right? When you get to Silent Hill is a town that is full of a fog so dense you can barely see the hand in front of your face. Not only that, it's raining, but it's not raining water, it's raining ashes. Now, the reason it's raining ashes is because underground, the coal mine is actually still burning. And nobody lives in Silent Hill because everybody died because the town burned down. Now, all the people who died in this Silent Hill still reside in this Silent Hill. However, they reside in an alternate. It's not a universe. It's not a reality.
Timeline.
No, not a timeline. It's like the hellish side or the dark side of Silent Hill. At a certain time, a horn goes off in the town. And when that happens, you don't want to be outside or anywhere where anyone can find you because the town completely changes. Bricks will decay and fall apart. You can see through walls because there's no walls. Like everything changes. It's like purgatory. You're in purgatory. It's hard. Like just watch a clip of Silent Hill on YouTube. Just do it with the lights on, with a lot of people in the room so you don't get scared.
I watch people play scary games all the time. I just don't like playing them.
The Silent Hill is, oh man, it was one of those games that I would literally rush home to play by myself with the lights off in the dark every weekend when I was a kid.
Yeah, I play Spider-Man. See,
Like I
I
said,
play.
I
What?
played a lot of different video games, as a kid. I was one of those. Okay, when I was growing up, what was considered a nerd or a geek, not to be calling people names or anything like that, but it was different than what it is now. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to ask somebody if they were a nerd and you put five people standing together, they would all look different because everybody plays video games. Everybody watches sci-fi movies now. Everybody is stuck to their computer tweeting or twitching or watching somebody else stream. You know what I mean? That's just the world we live in now. When I
Right.
was a kid, being a geek or a nerd was watching Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, playing video games and being stuck on video games, kind of not being outside in the world kind of thing. And I was on both sides of the fence. I hung out with my cousins, played sports and everything, but I also was home and played a lot of video games. So I also played a lot of solo games where I just played by myself. So everything from like, the Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Brothers, where it's, one player at a time. Um, all the Final Fantasies, the Chrono Triggers. I played a lot of different RPGs and first person shooters because I didn't like you. I don't like playing with. I didn't like playing with others much until I started playing Call of Duty online.
Right.
And then my girl was like, "You got to play this game called Overwatch," and I was like, Why? It looks like Unreal Tournament, and I hate Unreal Tournament. I hate games like that. It's why I don't play Halo. And she's like, no, you'll like it. Believe me, you'll like it. And like I played it once and got addicted to it.
That's what happened to me with Overwatch. I hated that game. I despised everything about it just because I didn't like the style. And then one day it was on sale for like $10, the anniversary edition, and I'm like, I guess I'll buy it. And then I bought it, and I didn't sleep that night.
Listen, I think ever since, and no offense, because I know it was $10, I would have bought it too, to be honest. But ever since they did that sale, that game has gotten flooded with so many bad players, man.
Yeah, thing is, I don't play ranked, so I may be bad, but nobody's allowed to be mad at me for being bad.
Dude, I play ranked and I play competitively, and it is hard. It is, to me, it is the worst competitive system I have ever played in, to be honest with you.
I hear that a lot.
Because if I'm playing, like I'm a player, I don't play that game consistently. So my stats are good. You know what I mean? But if you've been playing the game for the last 72 hours and opposed to me the last 8 hours, your stats are going to be better than mine, right?
Right.
So, okay, let's match you and me up in the game together. Just because you've been playing for 72 hours straight doesn't mean you play better than me. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I'd be playing with people who are 5-star gold, 4-star gold, 5-star silver, and I'm the one with 5 gold medals at the end of the game. I'm the one who carried the team, and I'm not even level 100 yet. I'm level 92. Haven't even got my first star yet.
Bro, I'm level 20 something.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I started. I mean, we all start somewhere,
Yeah.
you know. But it is so like that competitive scene is just, to me, it's horrible. It's toxic. It sucks. It aggravates people. So I don't really get into the competitive scene much. When I do play Overwatch, it's just to play for fun. So I'll play like No Limits, or my favorite game style in that game is Total Mayhem.
I like just the one where you gotta escort the thing moving throughout the map. That's one I like.
Escort the payload.
Yeah.
So let me drop a little something. I don't know if you keep up with Overwatch, but I do.
I do not.
They're dropping a new character next week.
Maybe it'll be a character I like besides Genji.
What's her name? Her name. I know it's a female cowboy.
A female? Is it McCree's wife?
Ash. Ash is her name. Ash.
I
And
like
it's a
Ash and
female.
Siege.
What happened?
I like Ash and Siege.
Dude, this chick is sick. Like, her ult is dropping her robotic friend Bob onto the playing field as a partner. Like, you get a 7th person on your team.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, sick.
Might play her. I might re-download Overwatch.
They're dropping 6 new characters. They
Like,
do it every year. It's a BlizzCon thing. Last year they dropped 6. And then they dropped, I know so far this year, they dropped 2 new characters
did
with
they?
Wrecking Ball and now Ash.
Ooh, I have not played either of those. Well, I know nobody's played Ash, but I haven't played Wrecking Ball.
He's all right. He's all right. I think he's too easy to kill. He's not a really good. I mean, he's a good tank if you know how to play him in a certain situation. Like, you like playing payload, so in certain boards, in certain maps, it's very good to use him because you can just use his grapple, stick it to the payload, and then just turn in a circle to keep everybody away from the payload as you move along the map.
Oh, okay. He sounds like a fun guy. Hey, Matt. Well,
Yeah, he's play with.
My next game is what game did you say? Oh, Silent Hill.
So,
Yep. Another exceedingly different game. Uh, I could call it a survivor horror game. Dark Souls.
you see, now I have never played Dark Souls.
You
My
never
girl
played Dark Souls.
has been like virtually choking me in her head, like Darth Vader, to play this game.
I
She's got part three downloaded on the computer, on the PlayStation, and I still have yet to touch the game.
Oh my god, bro. If
Listen, I can't play 50 games at one time. I gotta kind of like focus on certain games and then move on. So I was playing World War II, Overwatch. Now I have to literally focus on COD. And then like, so once I'm done with that and August comes next year and I'm like, I can breathe. A month later comes out like the next COD. So like what, it's going to be kind of hard. Do my best. Do my best.
I mean, if you wanna experience Dark Souls, I mean, I could carry you through that.
I want to actually play it.
Ooh, you're
I
gonna be
want
there
to
for a while then.
experience the game. I don't. To me, like certain games, it doesn't matter. When I first got Resident Evil, is literally the first day the PlayStation dropped in America. I sat with my cousin and my cousin's friend, and we went to a Costco 14 hours before it opened and bought the PlayStation with Resident Evil and Street Fighter Alpha because I had to play Street Fighter. I'm a Street Fighter fanatic. It's one of the games in my top 10.
Right.
Huge Street Fighter fan. So we bought those two games and we played Resident Evil first. And it scared the life out of me. Okay. I couldn't go to sleep because I was playing this game and like my cousin lived on a farm, literally 150 something acres of land. And so when you shut off all the lights in the house, it's pitch black. You can't see nothing but the light from the TV. And
Right.
man, when those zombies was jumping out, dogs jumping through windows, and you're 14 years old playing this game, it scared me. I ain't gonna lie. I got scared. I couldn't go to sleep that night. Those zombies were gonna attack me. It was worth it.
Yeah, no thanks. Scary games are not good. Well, can't say they're not good. They're good, but not for me.
So I feel if Dark Souls is kind of that kind of game out, it's worth it to me to binge play it for a few hours. Like
Oh,
I beat Metal Gear Solid the first time I played it. Like I played it each and every one I played the first day I put the disc in the system. I've never shut off the game until I beat it.
oof. You don't want to do that with Dark Souls. You might end up hurting yourself. Because have you played a Souls-esque game before?
What do you mean by that?
Uh oh, okay. I guess you don't really know what a Souls game is.
I
um
wouldn't. I've never played a Dark Souls game, so
yeah. Well, a Souls-esque game is pretty much it's so hard to describe. You just gotta play it.
I'll some point get my hands on Dark Souls and play all of them. I can't play two or three without playing one. That's just the way I am.
Well,
Whether
if it makes you
storylines,
feel better, if it makes you feel better, uh, if you want to play Dark Souls 1 first, good luck. You won't have fun. You're gonna want to quit very soon after starting it. I'd recommend starting with 3, then 2, then 1.
that's not even. How is that even like? Just
Because,
because the fun factor is different doesn't mean you should play it that
no,
way.
no. When I'm saying the fun factor is different, I mean you're going to die so many times because you've just never played a game like that before. I say
But
start
that's
with
the whole
3
point.
because it's the easiest. 2 is the
No,
second
that's
easy.
not. That's like if I told you to play Resident Evil, I would tell you to do the same thing. Start off with Resident Evil 3 because like when you play the game the first time, you got unlimited ammo. Like not
That's
literally,
dumb.
but that's how much ammo they give you. No, they don't give you unlimited ammo. It's just you find so many bullets or so many guns. It's like, damn, you just might as well give me an unlimited gun. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, that wouldn't be fun because there's no challenge. If there's no challenge, I don't like playing the game.
Oh, trust me, there's
I'm,
still a challenge. But
I'm
it's
gonna
good
start with
practice.
part one. I'm gonna start with part one. That's me, and then I'm gonna go to part three. That's just how I play a game. I have to
See,
start at the beginning.
the reason I say this is because I've played every Dark Souls game, including Demon Souls. Do not play Demon Souls. Thank you for the subscription, Matt. Uh, so the only Dark Souls game I have beaten is 3. Dark Souls 1, I cannot get past the 4th boss. And it's so difficult. I rage quit Dark Souls 1 all the time. Dark Souls 2, I've got into the final boss, or the second to last boss. Could not beat it. Could not even find it. Now I want to play Dark
I'll
Souls.
get my hands on those games at some point, and I know I will play them. I will
Well,
enjoy playing them.
they're all on
Uh,
PS4, so it's a lot easier now than it used to be.
yeah, I know at some point I will get my hands on them and play them. I just there's like I said, there's so many games right now that I still want to play. I still have to go through all of the Assassin's Creed games because I haven't finished the series yet.
Oof.
And I mean, we talked about Spider-Man. They're remaking Resident Evil 2. I haven't bought Red Dead Redemption yet, too.
I don't know if
So,
I'm gonna get Red Dead.
so like, there's just so many games. I mean, I played the first one, so I heard a lot of good things about the second one. One of my friends out here owns it. He loves it. He's always been a Red Dead fan, and every time I play Red Dead, for some reason, it just reminds me of one of these old school cowboy games I used to play when I was a kid. And so,
Oregon Trail.
oh no, no. Oh, talking about Losa, listen. I don't know if like, I don't know. When I was doing my top 10 video games list of mine, I decided, hey, let me just go ahead and compare my list to other lists that are out there and see where my games actually land on certain lists, right?
Right.
So, as one of my first games we talked about when it came to RPGs was Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah.
I looked up top 10 video games of all time, right? On IGN.com, Final Fantasy lands at number 97, right?
Right.
As the top 10 RPG on the same website, top 10 RPG, Final Fantasy VII lands top 3 of all time. Do you want to know where Oregon Trail falls on IGN.com's top 100 video games?
It's probably pretty high.
It's in the top 50.
Oh
Now,
god.
I need to explain to everybody who does not know what Oregon Trail is. You may not even know the system that I'm about to say. It's on a system called Atari, and it came out in the 70s.
I thought it was
Oregon
just on
Trail.
PC.
Oh, no. Oregon Trail is old.
I know it's old, but I thought it was on like,
Mm-mm.
old school PCs like the Commodore 64 and stuff.
No. I'm pretty sure because my cousin had it on ColecoVision, which is an older system than the Atari. And then my other cousin had it on the Commodore.
Oh.
So like that's why I don't know. It was weird when I was growing up. Like we all had a different system. We never planned it that way, but like I had the Nintendo, my cousin had the Sega Genesis, and then my other cousin had a Atari Jaguar when we got older. So like we all were able to play different systems on different video games when we went to each other's houses. But Oregon Trail is a very old game. Like you can literally count the pixels on your screen. Like that's how big they are. And but it just when I was I just you mentioned Oregon Trail, so I had to just say that. Like I just have to let people. Like I was just lost when I saw that. I was lost. But I understand so many people have played that game. You know what I mean? So as you know, being one of the top 100 played games of all time, I can understand that. You know, that game has been played for like 4 or 5 generations of gaming. You know, it's
Right.
like Pac-Man. Pac-Man has always been around, even till this day. You can still go and buy some little handheld game that's Pac-Man.
Yeah, I remember I had an open world Pac-Man game once. It was so old. I think it was like PlayStation 1. That was
Yeah,
weird.
Pac World, I think it was called.
Something like that.
It was weird. I remember I bought it for my little sister. Those were her first two video games was that and Rugrats.
Oh, fuck regrets.
What happened?
That game's so hard.
Dude, I remember she was playing it one day and slammed the controller. Oh man, I just sat there and I laughed, and then she got mad at me and she yells, "It's not funny," and I was like, "Oh, you know how I feel sometimes, huh?" And I just walked away because that was not a kid's game. I thought it. I mean, it's Rugrats, right? No,
Right.
that was not a kid's game at all whatsoever. This nigga Tommy fell every 3 steps. Every like he couldn't even run, and then you had to run, and it was a timed like thing that you had to do. No, no, you had to like take a certain angle. If not, that's it. You lost. There was no trying to recuperate. Nothing.
Yeah, that's how a lot of platform S games were back then, though. If you didn't do everything exactly right, you lost.
Yeah, a lot of video games were like that. Ridge Racer was like that in the beginning. Like if you didn't take certain angles and the way you took your corners, there was no way you were gonna win that race at all, no matter what you did. Like, and I hated that. Like, you know, growing up, some video games were just linear that way. You know, you had to play it this way. You couldn't play it your way or a certain way. You know, if you wanted to be the best, you had to exactly do this. And you know, some games were boring because of that.
Yeah.
Others, what? Like Doom. When we were talking about Doom earlier, Doom is a linear game. It's a
Right.
game where you have a storyline. It doesn't defer from that. You stick to the storyline, but you're basically doing something all the time. So you have entertainment throughout the game, you know? But when you're doing, like I said, like a racing game or you're playing I wouldn't say like an RPG game, just like a story game where you play like multiple characters and you're just following a story, but you have to do a certain mission a certain way to complete it. It doesn't, it takes away the fun factor of the game.
Right.
So moving on through the list,
Did we?
my what
What?
happened?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Um, my next video game is a really it's a first person shooter actually, and it's one of the one of the one of the games that I played that had a really good storyline, and it's called Medal of Honor. I don't know if you ever played that.
I played one Medal of Honor game on PS3. I don't remember which one it was.
Um, which one was the one that I can't remember. At that point, I think I had stopped playing Medal of Honor,
Uh,
but I played all of them on the PS1 and PS2 for sure. And I owned each and every one. But it was good because it was a good campaign, had a good storyline. Um, you had to earn your medals, earn your badges, earn your stars and everything, you earn your rank. It was for first person shooter storyline games. I think Medal of Honor to me would rank in the top 10 as first person shooter games of all time, um, because of the fact that it was always engaging. Um, some of the games are easier than others, but it was to me it was just the storyline, the campaigns that they had were fun. They were always fun and entertaining. And to me, when it came to first person shooters, that was the biggest thing, back then. Every first person shooter like GoldenEye, Doom, Wolfenstein, they all had a storyline to go along with them. And back then, that's what first person shooters was about. But to me, Medal of Honor stood out because it was a little bit more realistic than the others.
Right.
Based on a sci-fi world. Wolfenstein was kind of like hellish Nazi Germany. You know what I mean? Like it was weird. That game started off normal and then took some turn. um, but to me, Medal of Honor stood out because, like I said, it was more realistic. The guns that you had were more realistic. And then you had ridiculous old school snipers, and that changed the game a lot. The sniping game in Medal of Honor, we should thank Medal of Honor for that because it changed everything from like Call of Duty, you know what I mean, to Battlefield. Medal of Honor, I think, started the little snipers were ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't remember playing that Medal of Honor game for very long. I think the one I had was the one that nobody really liked. But my next game on this great list I have is it is a game not like any of the others on my list at all. It is the new God of War.
Oh, God of War.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's what?
Awesome franchise.
Yeah, I didn't really play any of the others. Uh,
What? You
well,
just played this one and that was like it?
well, okay. So I kind of played the first one because I got the free trial for PlayStation Now because I wanted to play all the God of Wars, but I got a little distracted because I think a different game came out and I wasted my free trial.
Oh,
So
so you know how it is, right? That's what happens to me. That's why I can't play every video game. Like, too many come out too fast.
yeah, hey, at least this year, not like only 3 good games came out.
Eh,
It's depressing,
yeah,
but
you're kind of right about that. I'm being honest. Like I didn't buy no Madden. I didn't buy no NBA 2K. I didn't buy the baseball game. I kind of just like faded out when it came to video games this year. I was focused on other things and certain games and objectives and goals that I have for this year. But I'm the same way. Like I didn't finish God of War Part 4. I didn't finish the second one that came out on the PSP. Um, I can't even remember the name of that one. Not Origins, Chronicles, something I can't remember.
I don't
But
know.
it was God of War 1 and 2, then God of War Origins on the PSP. Then they came out with God of War 3, and then another one I think was on. It was the Vita, the PS Vita, the other handheld, and I never got finished through playing that one. And then I went straight to the one on the PS3.
Yeah, I fully played God of War, the new one, and it's a game that I want to platinum, but that game's just hard. Like I beat it on the hardest difficulty, and I'm trying to do everything on the hardest difficulty, but some of those Valkyries are impossible. But I do have all the Infinity Stones. I was pretty proud about that
Nice.
because you can get those in that game, and it's pretty funny. The Infinity Stones. There's one that is super OP, and it is ridiculous.
See, I haven't played the new one. I want to play it. It's just another game I have to like put on the back burner for right now.
Right.
But I've played all the God of Wars. Great franchise. Huge fan of all the Greek and Roman history when it comes to the gods.
I
So
feel
I've watched almost every movie, played every video game, read every book. Kind of like I said, I'm a nerd like that. So
yeah, I play Smite, and that's all the gods from every pantheon. So God of
yeah.
War was pretty entertaining when I saw that you killed Ares, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could kill him in Smite.
Yeah, that oh man, the first God of War game when I played it, I was like, oh, this is cool. I like this. It was like I'll play part two if they came out, and I played part two, and I kind of started getting bored because like the graphics was the same, the game style was the same between the first two, the one on the PSP. But then when the first one came out on the PS3, that was a completely different story. You know what I mean? Like we knew the graphics were going to be better, but the gameplay, the game style was completely different. Um, like the visual, as far as the camera, the view, and everything, it might have been the same as a third person view, but the angles were different. The detailing to the maps and everything. Just I think the graphics made the game so much better, and the way that it just felt more dark. You know what I mean? Like it felt right for the way the game style was made.
Right.
So I love part three. To me, was a big turn in the progression of God of War as a series.
Yeah, I do wish that I played more of them because I've heard so many good things about every single part of the franchise.
Yeah, I like I said, it's one of my favorites that I've ever played and gotten into when it comes
Thanks,
to a whole franchise. So
thanks for the sub, Emma. Yeah. So we got a wrap soon. So real quick, what's your final game?
um well, my final game is once again it's an old school game. But it does come from the PlayStation and it's my Tomb Raider series.
Good choice. Never played it.
You've never played it?
No,
Have you ever played Uncharted?
no.
Dude, did you just like not play like adventure solo games at all?
Correct. I don't remember what games I really used to play. Ratchet and Clank. That's pretty much all I used to play.
Really? I mean, I
Yeah,
played Ratchet and Clank. I've also played Crash Bandicoot. I played all of those kind of cartoony games.
yeah. Ratchet
Um,
and Clank and Spyro.
but Tomb Raider to me, once again, is just I was always into adventure games, solo gaming, like I told you before. And so Tomb Raider appealed to me a lot. I didn't need somebody else to help me get through the game. And then it was just like Resident Evil, where you had to solve puzzles, So to me, that was fun. It may sound weird to people, but when I was a kid growing up, and before I played video games, or when I was just chilling in my room, laying in bed, and I couldn't play no more video games, I would do word puzzles, and I would do like not like the newspaper crosswords, but like the find the words and the number sequences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I just used to do that for fun. So when I played Tomb Raider, it was like, oh crap, this is awesome. So I was addicted to Resident Evil and Tomb Raider and Silent Hill for those reasons that when you played the game, to me, it was adventure and horror at the same time, but you had to solve riddles and puzzles and find clues throughout the game to help you proceed. Like if you didn't find this piece of paper with this little bit of information, you would not know what the code was to this lock to get through this door or whatever. So I always played a lot of games like that, and that's why Tomb Raider is on my top 10.
Well, my final game, I think you'd appreciate. Again, it's a new game. Well, newish, not really new anymore. But it is the one game that I've ever played that I have beaten multiple times, and I tear up at the end of every single playthrough. And that is The Last of Us.
Now, you want to know what? I have yet to play that game.
Oh my, that is a crime.
And it's not because I don't want to, it's because I just haven't had the time to.
That game came out so long ago, though.
You know how many other games I've been playing and other things that I have been doing?
Yeah. I guess I do play more single-player games, and that's why I have more time to play other games.
Like, if I had the time that I wish I did to even be able to stream for a 4-hour time frame, I would have done that a long time ago. Literally, like I would do it, but I don't have enough time in the day to do that.
Right.
Else, like so. Even sometimes when I'm like, I'm watching, the COD team do their thing. I'm on for 2 to 3 hours at a time, and then I gotta go to bed, and they're on for like 4 hours after that because they do crazy stretches. There was a time one day I was watching them till like 10, 11 o'clock at night, went to sleep, woke up at 5 in the morning, and like 30 minutes before I woke up, one of them was posting, just finished our grind.
Oh God.
Yeah. They go hard, so I love my team.
Yeah, I wish I had enough time to stream like I used to. Well, I do have the time. I don't have the internet data limit. Definitely need to upgrade my internet.
Yeah, I need to upgrade my whole computer station.
All right, well, I believe that's the end of this podcast. I'm gonna go to Taco Bell because I'm starving. I haven't eaten since 10 in the morning.
Feel sorry for you, bro.
Yeah.
I had like a delicious entree meal before we started this podcast.
Well,
Chinese food.
well, thank you all for watching. See
Need
y'all.
everyone's time and patience and ears today.
Yeah. Dynamic, I am most likely not gonna stream later. Maybe. I don't know. But thank y'all. We appreciate it. I don't know if y'all could still hear us, so this is awkward.